Welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is a special episode of the show. I am entitling it What I'm Thankful For. So, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to basically just share my thoughts on what I'm thankful for. Tomorrow in the U.S. is Thanksgiving. I am recording on Wednesday. It gives me a time to reflect. So, I want to share that with you in this episode. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other forum supporters find us. Well, I'm just going to start here. I have many things I'm thankful for, and I'm going to share that in this episode, but I'm just going to share what has been going on with me. Now, let's just say I've been doing this show since August of 2011. It's been a wonderful experience, and I have many things to be thankful for. Going to be honest with you, as I reflect back, I've been giving a lot of thought about ending Cottage Talk. For the past several months, I really have been giving it some serious thought. And I've come to the conclusion to continue doing the show. And there are many reasons why. There are many reasons why I will continue. But there have been challenges coming out of the pandemic. I'm going to be honest with you. We dealt with a health scare with my wife, who actually, a year into the pandemic, had to be hospitalized. Thankfully, she ended up being okay, but the pandemic really hurt us, not just physically with my wife and I had it, everyone in my family had it, but financially as well. Financially, I'm okay, but let's just be honest, it's been a difficult period for many people. But I am thankful that I have this show that helps me escape from life. Fulham Football Club helps me escape from life, and I have many things to be thankful for. And that is what has helped me basically continue to do Cottage Talk, and I hope you will continue to listen to it. So I'm going to go through what I am very thankful for. Let's start with my family, and they have been the rock of my life. I think everyone should have a family that cares about them. I have one that cares deeply about me. And when it comes to doing the show and supporting Fulham, they have been extremely supportive. My wife, my daughter, who has told me on several occasions, I've never been to a match at Craven Cottage. She wants to be there for my first match so we can do it together. We will do that, me and my daughter, someday. I don't know when that will be, but we will go to a match together. My son, who I'll be talking about in just a bit with my trip to Philadelphia, has been extremely supportive of my love for Fulham. He is not a fan of the sport, so he is not into football. However, he has been extremely supportive with my passion for Fulham and my passion for doing the show of Cottage Talk. So everything in life for me starts with my family, my love of family, and I'm very thankful for them. I'm very thankful also for what happened in Philadelphia, my trip to Philadelphia, and everyone I met. This was an extremely special situation. I was actually asked by Sammy James to be part of the Fulhamish show, Fulhamish Live in Philadelphia, along with George Cooper. I went and did the show along with my co-host Max, and we had a wonderful time. And I'm thankful for this trip to Philadelphia. I'm thankful that Brady, my son, came with me and got to experience this with me. And what I got out of this trip from Philadelphia was pure love, because I met so many Fulham supporters, and it really just basically made me love Fulham even more, because their passion, hearing their passion, them wanting to talk to me and meet me was just incredibly special. This was an incredible Fulham experience, not just meeting everyone, but also obviously going to the match, meeting people that work for Fulham as well that I know. It was just an incredible experience. So I am very thankful for this trip to Philadelphia and everyone I met. I just want to say thank you to everyone that came up to me, because I'm thankful I had a chance to meet you. That's going to lead me to being very thankful for Fulham Football Club. And I've told this story several times, but I will share it again. I basically had been searching for a club to call my own for many years before I came upon Fulham Football Club. I looked at Chelsea. Yes, I'm going to mention that. I looked at Manchester United. Nothing really took hold. And then Clint Dempsey decided to leave the New England Revolution to go and play for Fulham Football Club. And I thought I would give Fulham a try. And that first season, I watched it a little bit, but it was the next season, the year that we call the escape, that to me is when everything solidified. And I really just fell in love with Fulham Football Club. That relegation battle, that escape just really just got into me and has never left. And I became a Fulham supporter full into my blood during the Great Escape. The Great Escape is what did it for me. It absolutely did it for me. So I just want to mention that's where my love of Fulham began, but it has continued through all kinds of situations that life has given me. I always have this love for Fulham Football Club. And it has been, you want to talk about an escape that season, the Great Escape? My great escape is Fulham Football Club because I get to really just throw myself into the club and forget about what's going on in life. And it brings everyone together, no matter who you are. If you support Fulham Football Club, you're a friend of mine. And that's what Fulham has brought. It's brought love into my life. I already had it, but it brought an even greater love of community. So I want to thank everyone that has played for Fulham Football Club, that has worked for Fulham Football Club, that has owned Fulham Football Club, and all the supporters that are a part of Fulham Football Club. I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for Fulham Football Club. And that's going to get me to talk about that I am extremely thankful to the Fulham supporters, not just for accepting me as one of them, which they have. I'm an American. They could have very easily not accepted me, especially when I started doing a show based here in America. As I started Cottage Talk with Kyle Bond, it would have been easy to reject that. But I got the exact opposite. I got support from the Fulham supporters. And you have been so supportive of me personally and this show since it began. So I am so thankful to the Fulham supporters for believing in me, believing in Cottage Talk, and supporting me, and just basically letting me know that I am a Fulham supporter. And that means so much to me. And I've said this many times, and I mean this. I don't want to be known as an American Fulham supporter. I simply want to be known as a Fulham supporter because that's how I feel. I am proud to be an American, proud to live outside of Boston, Massachusetts, extremely proud. Okay. But when it comes to Fulham, I just want to be known as a Fulham supporter. And I will just say that all the Fulham supporters I met have accepted me that way. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for all the Fulham supporters because you've accepted me as one of your own, and I am one of your own. So I am thankful to all the Fulham supporters wherever you are. Okay. Well, that's going to lead to talking a little bit about the show, Cottage Talk, and I'm very thankful to all of my co-hosts over the years. There's so many. I can't mention all of them. It obviously started. I'm very thankful to Kyle Bond, who came to me in 2011 that summer and said, let's start a podcast. And I wasn't into it, but he talked me into it. I'm glad he did. And it started off as just him and me doing the show. He got a broadcasting job in Perth, Australia. And back in 2011, it was very difficult to get a good connection. So we stopped doing Cottage Talk for, I want to say, about a month. Kyle just couldn't do it anymore. So then it was up to me to continue to do the show. And thankfully, I met up with Dan Crawford to do this show. I say met up, but him and I talked, we chatted, and Dan agreed to do Cottage Talk. In the very beginning of this new vision of Cottage Talk without Kyle, I got Dan to join me along with some writers from handman.com that kept the show going. And that was great. And I can't thank Dan and all of the writers for handman.com who joined me on this show to keep it going. I'm just going to thank a few names. I'm thinking of like Dan, Chris Gilbertson, Lorcan. There are so many people over the years that really helped me out. So I'm thankful for all of them. But as I transition and move forward, there have been so many co-hosts: Emilio, Giannis, Max, Craig Coleman. There are so many more. I don't mean to forget anyone. I just want to thank everyone, because if it wasn't for you, there would be no Cottage Talk. I know I do many of these shows now by myself, but without them, this show would be nothing. So I want to thank all of them. And I'm thankful for every single one of you for what you've brought to me. You brought me so much. You brought me love, the love of Fulham. And that's what this show has always been about. So I want to thank all of my co-hosts for doing this show with me. It's meant a lot to me. Okay. Coming up next to end this episode of Cottage Talk, I have some other people to thank on this day before Thanksgiving. Okay, to end this episode of Cottage Talk, and there's only one other group of people I have to thank, because I'm very thankful for the listeners of Cottage Talk. I can't thank you enough for continuing with this show from its inception in 2011 to now, to continue to listen. I see the numbers of listeners. I know people are listening to this show, and it means a lot to me. It means so much to me that you continue to do this. It's what drives me. Like I mentioned, the last several months have been difficult on me, and I've continued to do this show. I have thought about, and I'm being honest here, of ending Cottage Talk several times the past several months. I want to thank some of my co-hosts who have talked me out of it, basically. And thank you to them for talking to me about this, because, like I said, life can be difficult at times, and I have thought about ending this show. But then it comes down to what I've gotten out of it. And what I've gotten out of it has been pure love. And every time someone listens to the show, that I see how many people are listening to this show, forget about people commenting to the show. I just know people are listening. And that's what keeps me doing Cottage Talk. I am so thankful for you, because, like I mentioned, I would have stopped Cottage Talk a long time ago if you stopped listening, but you continue to listen because the love of Fulham and the fact that you have a show and so many other shows that talk Fulham. But the fact that you've listened to Cottage Talk has helped me in life. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to Cottage Talk. That's the best way to end this episode, because I'm thankful for so many things. I'm thankful to my family, to the club itself, to my co-hosts, to Fulham Football Club in general. But I just want to end with saying I am so thankful to every single listener of Cottage Talk. And I'll end this episode by saying thank you. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Cottage Talk. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you, as always, for listening to Cottage Talk, part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.